Grab Ass Nation, get up. It's Monday, March 4th on What Chaos, presented by Prize Picks. I'm DJ Bean. Pete Blackburn is there. Sean DePaz is all the way over there. Hello, sir. Sean, you have such a good sign on and nobody sees it. You like stand at attention. Is that what's called?
Yeah, salute.
Yeah. You steal valor? It's so cool.
My mom was in the Air Force. I'm allowed to.
Oh, hell yeah. So
I'm USAA eligible.
I was just about to say, we don't have a Gronk on our hands.
Suck it, Gronk.
Oh, man. That's good for you. My mom was also an Air Force employee.
Right.
So was not actually in the Air Force. Would I be USAA eligible?
You're asking the wrong guy. I'm the son of cowards.
No, I'm not actually in USAA because my mom has to sign up first and give me her code or whatever. And
I think that ship has sailed for me, so I'm probably not USAA eligible.
Probably not. I don't know
it's a dark joke about my mom being dead.
Yeah.
I was going to say there's more jokes you could have made about.
Mine's
not eligible.
Mine's not, and I'm
she's
still
not eligible for life insurance.
Costco cards.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, folks, we have been grab-assing all morning. We all got to the office at a relatively good time. We've been bumping tunes, laughing about hockey, ready to have ourselves an insane week. That, depending on what y'all do, could be even extra insane. We're all going to see the Oilers tomorrow. How could we not? I got a text from our friend Dan Bailey yesterday that was like, man, Victor Wembanyama is insane. And it got into a conversation about, like, as old people, we should be so satisfied with the star players we have right now. They're like, you and I,
the board.
Remember when we went to see Shohei Ohtani for like $14 on a random weekday because nobody cared? And we saw him throw a complete game in the year 2022
against our favorite team. And we were like, how can you be mad at that? We just saw Shohei Ohtani dominate our team.
Right now, we have Caitlin Clark doing what Caitlin Clark's doing. We have Shohei Ohtani doing what Shohei Ohtani's doing. We've got like Lucas like the NBA stars are amazing. Connor McDavid in town tomorrow.
LeBron James still great. He hit 40,000 points. The NBA is kind of in the same place as the NHL right now, where I think we've talked about this. Like you've got past, you've got present, and you've got future stars all in the league at the same time. Like you've got Crosby, you've got McDavid, you've got Bedard. That's like kind of like 3 generational talents all in the league at the same time, all playing great at the same time.
Well, if we get 7,000 more subscribers, I kid. We need like 500 more subscribers. Since we've started saying subscribe on YouTube, please subscribe on YouTube, we've actually kind of been making a dent at this. And as has been covered on this show before, it's very, very difficult to grow a YouTube audience, way more difficult in our experience than it is to grow an audio audience. Typically, if we say, hey, can you listen to this? People have been okay about it, and they've said, sure, we'll listen. If we say subscribe on YouTube, they say, who the fuck do you think you are? But if we get to 4,000 subscribers by Thursday, we will almost immediately begin a 24-hour stream in which we cover everything trade deadline. Sean looked at me as I was saying this. I did realize we never checked with you at any point if you were on board with that.
I don't have a life, so it's, I mean, it is what it is.
We can
it'd be a tough job to produce a 20.
It wouldn't be ideal, but there would be some dark points. There would be some dark periods during that show from a production standpoint, I'm sure, but it would be fine.
I think that there could be times, though, like what if I needed to do like a TV hit or something during, because it would be plausible, especially at night, that one of the nights that I'd be needed to, hey, can you come on, do this thing? You have responsibilities during like the day. If those happen, whatever, go do them.
Yeah.
The other person can hold it down.
We're not going anywhere.
I thought of a great, I was thinking of some really fun time wasting ideas too. Like what if we did Guess Who and we slotted in NHL players?
That'd be awesome.
But there would be like a trick. Sean could be in charge of them. and he would do "Oops." All Michael Andlauer, and we both have Michael Andlauer, and we're like trying to guess who the other person has.
Is that like the Starburst packages where it's like oops all Reds?
It's the Captain Crunch, oops
Captain
all berries.
Crunch.
Oh, oops all berries. That's what it is.
I was gonna say for the subscriber thing, I just realized that the only thing that's ever gotten me to subscribe to people outside of good content, which we have obviously, is like the Mr. Beast method, where he's like, if you're subscribed to me, I'll give you $1 million right now. Yeah. So we just got to find like one person to give something really nice to, and then just be like, make sure you're subscribed. You don't want to miss this opportunity.
What if
I've
Pro Shop
subscribed
Wars
for giveaways?
Exactly, and I've subscribed.
Pro Shop Wars, like we mix in like this is for an audience member.
That is a great idea.
I have subscribed to so many people that I've seen one video of them being like, I've given this random person I saw on the street $10,000 because they're subscribed to me. Because if I ever ran into one of those people and I wasn't subscribed to them, I would do something very drastic.
I did pitch. Pete kind of furrowed his brow at it. I think we can get him though. I did pitch if we get to 3,700 subscribers by puck drop tomorrow, we will go to the press box, no questions asked, and hand Gene Principe $100 cash.
Cold hard cash.
That is cash.
No, you can't give him cold hard cash. You like maybe made some movement on me when you said that we were going to present him with an oversized check.
Oversized check, or I've been watching a lot of Sopranos, so an envelope.
Something you haven't considered though is he's Canadian. You can't just like if you just give him $100 bill, you're giving him like $120.
That's true, but that's an even better deal for Gene. I'm not going to try to screw Gene over.
But then he has to go like convert it and stuff like that.
We should get him a briefcase just full of ones.
Oh, I mean, I just like the idea of regularly when we see Gene, we hand him money and give
just
him a
like
kiss
an old Italian grandpa. Just be like, here, kid.
Just be like, this is for you.
We're paying him for protection from bad hockey broadcasting.
I mean, he protects us so well. We have so much stuff to get to today, which is why we spent the first 10 minutes lightly explaining we're trying to get YouTube subscribers. But we're not even covering the fun shit that Gene did over the weekend. He killed it on the Kraken game. He's going to be in town tomorrow, though, for Bruins Oilers, which I'm so excited to attend. Can't wait to see what he has cooked up in Boston. Mm-hmm. Is he going to like rob a bank for the Open?
Oh my God. If he opens with the nun mask, I will lose. That is my favorite scene from any movie ever. When the nuns get out of the car and they look at the cop and the cop looks at them and he just looks away. Favorite movie scene of all time. I would lose my shit.
Pete knows one of my favorite scenes ever.
Is it also from that movie?
Is also from the town.
Is it the Whose Car We're Taking?
No.
Oh, because that's like the most common, I feel like, favorite scene from a movie.
I'll give you a hint. Do you know what I'm going to say already?
I know what it is.
Not playing college soccer.
No. Is it when Jeremy Renner takes a sip out of the cup at the end?
That's it.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure you said that before.
That is my favorite death in a movie. Incredible.
There goes college soccer. I think that's a great line.
Man, what a great movie. Okay, can the Penguins, speaking of Jeremy Renner at the end of The Town.
Oh my God.
Can the Penguins have a sip of soda? Please.
Just let them have one sip of soda.
And
Somebody bring this guy a cola.
Roster-wise.
That's such a good line. We should start using that when teams
Can we get him a cola?
Yes. Somebody please bring this team a cola.
No, but that's endearing or derogatory. Endearing is Zdeno Chara on the bench.
No, you can't convolute it. Somebody bring this team a cola. It means that they're about to die.
It sounds very much like the Letterkenny line. Someone get this guy a Puppers.
A what?
A Puppers. It's like a beer in the show, and every time someone's acting up, they're just like, get this guy a Puppers.
Yeah, but that's like they need to be calmed down. This is like they're on their deathbed. They just want some soda.
Okay,
Calling the priest.
I mean, as we enter the trade deadline week, we're gonna have guests on throughout the week, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. But we're also gonna dick around and go through some of these teams and what might happen with them at the deadline. And the Penguins just feel very relevant right now because we watched them have a horrible weekend, lose back-to-back against the Flames and the Oilers. They have lost 3 games in a row.
2 very different losses in those 2 games, by the way. They choked away the Flames game and then got absolutely shit-pumped by the Oilers.
With the chain on the line against the Flames, by the way.
Chain on the line, that's right. Yeah,
that's right. They
got
smoke-zilled
Calgary
against the Oilers.
Holding it down with the chain.
Calgary
5 straight?
to lose tonight.
5 straight games?
4 defenses
with the chain, I think.
4
5
defenses
straight
with
wins.
the chain. Yeah, 5 straight wins.
If only the Penguins had not choked away that game on Saturday, the Oilers would have the chain right now because they would have gotten it from Pittsburgh. But the Oilers, we'll talk about in a second because we always talk about the Oilers, destroyed the Penguins, and the Penguins kind of looked like they were trying their hardest last night, and they still got run out of the building. They have said that they'll trade Gensel, and who knows, maybe Riley Smith can be wrested from their grasp. Trade everybody. Please trade everybody. Shout out Biz.
Not everybody.
He was very strong on everybody, dude.
No.
Everybody.
No, I'm not there. Like, I don't think you trade Crosby.
Trade Crosby, please. He could be, sorry to cut you off, he could be the like Ray Bork or Chris Chelios of this year's trade deadline, where you're like, can you really trade that guy? And it's like, if the team sucks enough, then yes, he's old. Let him go do it.
Yeah, but the team doesn't suck enough to the point where like there's no hope. Like there's no hope this season.
Jim.
There's no hope this season. Crosby's having an incredible year. Malkin's had flashes of playing really well this year. Like Carlson's been really good at points. Letang's been good at points. Tristan Jarry's been amazing. That's why this season is so depressing for the Penguins, is because they're wasting so many great years from guys who probably don't have many great years left remaining. And it's just the bottom half of their roster is a fucking corpse. Like, it's a fucking graveyard at the bottom half of their roster. And that was somewhat predictable. Like, you have Jeff Carter playing on this team.
I know.
When the Penguins traded for Jeff Carter years ago, I was like, oh yeah, damn, Jeff Carter's still in this league. And then like 3-4 years later, he's still on the Penguins, still playing. Ugh.
You mentioned Tristan Jarry. I got to look up who did it because I forget. But Sean, our friend Petey, would have been losing his mind at Nedeljkovic last night, because you know what the Oilers were doing all night?
Trying to shoot over the shoulder in the reverse VH? Shooting
at his head from the red line. Did you see that?
Yeah.
McDavid was doing it. They ended up getting, I think McLeod scored one that way. Reverse VH, having a bad time. Nedeljkovic having a bad time. Penguins having a bad time. I would be very, very happy. And the name that Biz threw out, or the team that Biz threw out, was Colorado. But just trade him to any awesome team in the West, and that would rock.
I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't rock. Seeing Crosby play with McKinnon, especially on a Colorado team that absolutely needs a second-line center and has needed a second-line center since Kadri left, would be amazing if the second-line center they got was Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon's best friend. Would that be the best thing in the world? Absolutely. Do I think it makes a ton of sense for the Penguins? No. Like, you've got Sidney Crosby. If you're the Penguins, you want to see Sidney Crosby retire with the Pittsburgh Penguins. They've locked up a bunch of the old guys. You're kind of committed to extending the window. Like 8 months into that plan, trading away Sidney Crosby to punt on that plan doesn't make any sense to me, especially when Crosby's still been great. I think you just need to fortify the bottom half of that roster heading into next year, and they have like a puncher's chance to have that window still extended. So
I cannot wait to hammer out a Seth Jones for Sidney Crosby trade. Sid and Connor Bedard. There you go. Blackhawks make a run this year.
The Penguins are so depressing, man. We talked about it like a month ago when they played on national TV. It was just like, please stop showing me this team. I gave up on that game last night. I rarely give up on any game,
especially an Oilers broadcast.
Especially an Oilers game. I rarely give up on games. I gave up on that game after the second period yesterday because there were 2 reasons why I gave up on the game. Jansen Harkins missed the net on a penalty shot. He of 0 goals on the season got a penalty shot. They were hyping up like, ooh, this is the time for him. He can get his team back in the game. And he just misses the net. And then on the broadcast, they show the penalty shot. They immediately cut to the bench. And everybody on the bench was just like, oh, no.
I was officially not having fun at that point.
Yeah,
and
it was sad.
I did not have a fun time for most of that game. It reminded me of, as a Celtics fan, when the Celtics took Jason Tatum over Markelle Fultz. And it was like, oh, yeah, Jason Tatum, all right, woo. Like, a month into the season, being a Jason Tatum fan was very depressing because Jason Tatum was an incredible player, clearly going to be like the face of the league, and Markelle Fultz was possibly not going to be in the league in 5 minutes. Like
it felt like dancing over a dead body.
It's not fun when it's that sad.
Right.
And I stuck with it only because I wanted to see if Pickard could end up getting the shutout.
Yeah.
But boy, oh boy, the Penguins are a bad product. I got to tip my cap that I'm not wearing to you. You've been saying, get them off nationally broadcasted games. I know that wasn't a national game last night, but it was still on ESPN Plus. People should have been blacked out. Yeah.
Remove the option of watching the Penguins outside of Pittsburgh, period.
AI in another team. You keep Gene and Louis and Jack and Bob.
Second reason I gave up on that game, Cody Ceci scored. Cody Ceci scored for the Oilers, and that was the end. That was the final straw for me.
I thought you were going to say Curb was good, which it was.
I didn't watch.
Curb, 2 good episodes in a row.
Straight to bed.
I'm a very strict recent season grader of Curb Your Enthusiasm, but it was good. We're going to talk about other team.
I was going to say another reason why the Penguins are clearly not going to trade Crosby is the return that they want for Gensel, which is apparently young players rather than draft picks. They want prospects rather than draft picks, which signifies they want to get younger and they want to have that impact immediately.
You know who has young players rather than draft picks? I've been following a lot of like Oiler fan accounts.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just reading some propaganda.
Yeah.
But everything that comes out about like this team wants to position this, that I see something that's like, could swing that, Oilers. So I saw that report that the Penguins want young players instead of draft picks. Oilers can do that. They can make that happen. Fleece that right out. Jake Gensel, how do you say?
Jake Gensel will be fun on the Oilers. I think
I have higher hopes.
I'm leaning towards Jake Gensel to the Vegas Golden Knights. He just seems like extreme Vegas Golden Knights energy.
Give me Riley Smith reunion. I prefer that.
Really? I think I'd like to see what Jake Gensel does on the Vegas Golden Knights.
I want bring him home.
I want to see if Jake Gensel beats the accusations of just riding on like an all-time player's wing.
Yeah, true. Fair. Before we get to some big Oilers news, I will quickly also squeeze in, speaking of dead teams, the New Jersey Devils. And
you just can't lose the way that they did over the weekend.
They find a way. They keep doing it. They're trash. Tyler Toffoli on an expiring deal. Colin Miller, a little easier to part with. Brendan Smith, a little easier to part with. Do you trade Tyler Toffoli if you're the Devils?
Yeah, probably.
You get so much for him.
And I would trade him to the Edmonton Oilers. I would rather see Toffoli on the Oilers than Jake Gensel.
So when I said I'd aim a little higher, now we're cooking, baby.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Tyler Toffoli on the Oilers would be incredible. Incredible. The Devils thing, they lost over the weekend to the Anaheim Ducks. They had a Jack Hughes penalty shot in the final seconds to tie the game.
We'll talk about that.
Jack
Don't you
Hughes flubs it, and the New Jersey Devils lose to the Anaheim Ducks. And if you are the New Jersey Devils, you need to be scoring every single point that you possibly can, and you cannot lose to the Anaheim Ducks.
Doesn't sound like them this season.
No, definitely not.
They are this season for an East. We are like, the East might be wide open. We still had some. Obviously, this team is going to be their teams.
Mm-hmm.
The Penguins were not one of them.
No.
Penguins were a fringe-ish team. Shout out Mike Grinnell. I've been waiting for him to take the victory lap on. He killed the Carlson deal right away. It was like, wouldn't do it. Don't like it. Penguins are kind of going to stink. He got so much shit for it. He kept kind of quiet about it. Today is the day I noticed online that he chose, like, you know what? I'm going to dig up all
that check.
Oh, what a day to do it.
I don't want to take any glory away, but you know who also hated that Penguins deal?
You?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah. It didn't change the makeup of the team. It just made them shinier.
Yeah. Oilers are in town tomorrow, and let me give you a game time testimony that I was so excited to give. And when I said, I've got a game time testimony I can't wait to give today, you said, David?
Hate to steal your shine. Hate to steal shine from two of my good friends, Mike Grinnell and DJ Bean. But I was also on that train.
We both independently used game time this weekend to secure some nice tickets for Boston Bruins, Edmonton Oilers. And because I knew when I got these tickets, I'm probably going to end up going with game time because they're the best option. I'm a shopper. I like doing things online. I'm my father's son. I do the consumer reports. I like to know what's rated high, what's rated low, all these things. shop around. What's the market looking like? I'll be damned if by far the best deal that I got when shopping around, I'm not just saying this because it's an ad read, Game Time had the best discount price options of any of them. And you know the names of the other big ones. Game Time satisfied me the most.
I completely agree. This was my first Game Time experience, and I'll tell you what. Not only was it a wonderful experience because they gave us some credits as friends of the podcast. They say, "Hey, we got some friendly little credits for you. Use them how you will." I said, "All right, I'll use them on a Bruins Oilers game because that sounds like the best time of all time." But the user experience on the app is incredible. It tells you like the percentage discount of like what the face value is. Tells you like it grades the deal. It grades the seat. It spells out exactly like. It gives you a preview of like what your seat view is.
It'll tell you if there's a promo that
if there's a promo that you can attach to it. Just
I mean like giveaways. Like if you look at the Game Time list, they'll have little emojis next to some of the games because they're doing giveaways. So like Flyers at Bruins, there's a little hat next to it because they're doing a hat giveaway that night.
You know what button I like pressing other than subscribe on YouTube to What Chaos? All in pricing. Love clicking that button.
That is,
you go right on, the button's right there, all in pricing. You click it. They are telling you straight up, I want these tickets. What will it run me? There's no surprises. There's no crazy hidden fees. They say, hey, when all is said and done, when you're taken care of, when the seller's taken care of, when we're taken care of, this is what it costs. And that final number that I got as I was looking, got some nice Loge ones. That final number, better than any number I could find on any other ticket reseller. So from our personal experience, we've been on there. Pete got tickets for this game as well. We're going to be there thanks to Game Time. The deals are just too good to turn away. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Be like us. Download the app, create an account, and use code CHAOS for $20 off your first purchase. So did you use code CHAOS?
I did not. That was very stupid of me.
They give such good deals that Pete's like, what would I want $20 off for? This is already such a good deal.
Why would I want to take money out of
Marty
Game
robbing
Time's
the
pocket?
place blind.
Yeah.
Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHAOS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
We also have a nice little read from our friends at Manscaped for this episode. It's our first one, and we shout out Manscaped for coming on board with us. Usually I don't like to read the read that's at the top of the read, but this it's ridiculous, so I'm going to read it. It says, this episode is brought to you by the St. Patrick's Day Shamrock Shavers, Manscaped. This year, don't just chase rainbows. Make your own pot of gold and groom your little leprechaun with the leaders in below-the-kilt care. Say goodbye to your clover forest with Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 and let your confidence shine bright. Embrace the luck of the Irish and join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Head on over to manscaped.com and use WhatChaos for 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped is the kind of company that you do want to trust, because guess what? That stuff is not to be messed with below quality products.
I agree. That is an area where you should give care.
You should definitely be using the highest quality products that you can, because if you are trying to save a few bucks, if you're trying to, if you're not doing the consumer reports on your manscaping products, well, you kind of reap what you sow there.
The worst part is because if you cheap out, you end up suffering silently too, because it's not like you broke your arm. You're not talking to people about the mistakes that you made below the belt.
You're not getting sympathy.
Not at all.
Because you're just like walking with a limp.
Enough time has passed that I can share this?
Oh, you're sharing a
Can I give a testimony?
Yeah.
One time I went to urgent care.
Oh, no.
And they were like, what's wrong? And I was like,
oh, no. I hate this story.
I'd rather not. Shit. I guess I do have to say what's wrong. And I'd
rather not share.
I ended up writing down on a piece of paper, cut my penis, and slid it over.
Like you were robbing a bank.
Yeah.
You wrote down a note
cut my
and
penis.
slid it across the table.
3 words.
Cut my penis and put it all in the bag.
Cut my penis. It's in a bag.
Cut my penis. And like, as I'm thinking, like I'm seeing, I scribbled it down. I don't have the cleanest handwriting. What's that poor person? I mean, I'm sure they've heard worse.
Also, if
They were like, suck my penis? No.
Yeah.
that
if I'm
can't be
working,
right.
I'm like saving that note forever. I feel like that's got to be one of the most.
I feel
crazy
like
things I've gotten.
I held
gone
on
back
to
to
it,
that
and I
urgent
was
care?
like out for drinks later that night, and like I found it in my pocket and was like, I got it.
It accidentally fell into a couple dollar bills, so you tip somebody. It's like in between the ones. There's just
They're like,
cut my penis.
are you paying me to cut your penis? Are you?
Yeah, it's like people who DM like girls on the internet, like, please kick me in the balls.
Yeah,
You give enough, like a $7 tip with the note, cut my penis.
those are the original lyrics to the Red Hot Chili Peppers song "Suck My Kiss."
Yeah. Well, if you don't want to cut your penis, you
So-
can get 20% off and free shipping with the code WhatChaos at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with code WhatChaos at manscaped.com. This St. Patrick's Day, make sure your little hairy leprechaun is luckier than ever with Manscaped. And don't put the knife to him.
I mean, this was more of a brunch episode. This would be better suited for a brunch episode, or we have been workshopping. Whether it could be part of a long stream or something, doing a oops all grab ass episode at one point. There could be like backstory there where like it wasn't as bad and as horrible, but I don't know. That's like a scary thing.
It is a scary thing. I wouldn't want to do it.
And like you're like, this can't be how I die. I'm going to urgent care to make sure, because they'd find you and they'd be like, what's wrong with this guy? He's just dead here. Why is he just lying down?
Like,
and they'd have to like observe you for a while before being like,
The coroner being like, oh, yeah. This is why. I've seen some ugly ones in my life,
like,
but
you
this
know,
is in a tough spot.
you know, like when they spray a tire with like soapy water to see where the
the leak is?
see where the leak is.
Yeah.
They're like spraying down the dead body. They're like, here's where it is. Loved ones, get out.
No.
All right. So
I didn't expect the read to go to that place, but I'm glad that it did.
somebody said, "Cut my penis merch?" ? No.
I don't know.
Not that kind of show.
It's just in my head on repeat. It's been playing the Papa Roach "Cut My Life into Penis."
Fuck my life, cut my penis. Frank Vatrano had himself quite a Friday. You mentioned that Devils game in which the Devils have a final seconds penalty shot.
Yeah.
What's cinema? Got a few penalty shots over the weekend, by the way.
This has been a absolute crazy year for penalty shots.
Yeah.
From the beginning of the year till now, we've
Pasternak had an amazing one.
So many penalty shots.
Yep. Sean, if you want to get the Vatrano elements ready, but in the final seconds of a 1-goal game against the Devils, there's chaos happening around the net. Devils pouring it on. Looks like they could bury it. Frank Vatrano just does the most obvious case of cheating I've ever seen in my life. God, I fucking love this guy and the season he's having. You remember earlier in the season, right before the All-Star break, he scored a walk-off goal, flung his stick into the crowd. The greatest goal celebration of the year so far. Although did you see the one he had a few nights ago?
Mm-mm.
I think it was this game. He scored his second goal and just did like, and just like went over to the corner and was like, I'm going to do this. Anybody wants to join me, come on over. I'll be over here doing this.
He's the best.
It was, it looked like it would be something from like a Shane Gillis skit or something. Just like very deadpan, like scored. It was amazing. But intentionally dislodged the net. And I don't know if he didn't know where the puck was as it was going on. Did you see this play?
Yeah. I think he knew exactly what was happening, and I think that he did that in hopes that it wouldn't be noticed.
I mean, he did it right in front of an official. I don't know if he totally knew what was happening, because here's where the puck was. Sean, give me one. So that's 3.9 seconds. Puck is behind the net. Keep going, Sean. 3.8, still behind the net. You could see he's starting to get some designs on it. 3.7. It's still there. And then he's like, I don't think I know where the puck is, but I'm going for it. Give it to me.
I interpreted it as like there's been extended zone time. I know that the clock is kind of running out, but there's such chaos in the crease right now that anything could happen. Let's just get a reset.
Yeah.
And I don't know if in that moment he knew that if he was caught that it would lead to a penalty shot.
I've never seen less deliberation on whether there should be a penalty shot in my life. The official just like booked it to center ice and was like, I got some shit I got to say.
If I had to guess, and I'm not like trying to question Frank Vatrano's knowledge of the game of hockey, he clearly knows more than I do. But like in that moment, there was probably a moment of panic and everything went out the window in terms of the window being his brain. And he said, I'm just going to do this and we'll reset and there'll be 3 seconds on the clock. And that's not what happens.
Yeah. No, I think he knows that.
You think so?
If I get caught, that's a penalty shot.
Maybe. If so, he took the chance and it worked out for him.
Yeah. Now the question is, Vatrano had 2 more goals in this game. So he's up to 29 on the season. The guy's just a maniac, goal scoring fool, can't help himself. Should the Ducks even trade him at this point? He's got, when we first talked about the idea of like possibly would a team like the Rangers be in on him, they want him. I don't know if it's going to happen. He's got 1 more year at $3.65 million.
Such a good contract.
Is he playing himself out of being traded?
I wouldn't necessarily say so. And I heard Elliot Friedman say on 32 Thoughts that the Ducks are asking for a lot when it comes to Frank Vatrano. And if they do swing a Frank Vatrano deal, you'll probably understand why they said yes to it. But they're not going to say yes to anything. And like they shouldn't. They have got a really good player on a really good contract. And we've seen some flashes of encouragement for where the Ducks are headed. Like, I wouldn't send a player out the door, especially Frank Vatrano, who's got another year of control on a great deal. You don't trade him until you need to. And until like you're like, oh, we're either trading him or we're not, or we're letting him go for nothing. And that doesn't happen until next year. So like, if you don't want to trade Frank Vatrano and you don't feel compelled to trade Frank Vatrano, don't do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, McTavish is day to day right now for them, but like they have good young forwards and they'll possibly be adding another one very high in the draft. If you say you get Celebrini, and you're like, hey, we could start you off with a 35-40 goal scorer on your wing. Doesn't that make his life so much easier early on? Or whether you keep him playing with Mason McTavish, like early in the season when we had him on the show, we were like, they're being that surprise team that takes a step a year quicker than we think they should. Next year could be the year that the Ducks really actually start to do that and contend in the Western Conference. Not necessarily contend to win the cup, but to be a wild cardish team.
Yeah.
So do that with Frank Vatrano. Again, if a team throws 2 first-round picks at you and all this stuff, then yeah, that might be tough to say no to, but they shouldn't feel any pressure to do it. They're probably going to be getting something for Adam Henrique anyway, 2nd-round pick or whatever it's going to be. So you're still going to be adding at the deadline future pieces without having to give up Frank Vatrano.
Yeah, and that's not to say that I would take him off the table. Like, obviously, I think the way that they're approaching it is the right way, which is, we'll listen on him.
Change my mind.
Yeah, right. Like, give me an offer that I can't refuse. And that's not to be super Italian, but that's what they should be doing with Frank Vatrano.
Oh, I like that. I wanted to ask why Radko Gudas has been talked about or speculated about. He's in the first year of a 3-year deal that is an awesome contract. He's got $4 million next year and the year after. Maybe not an awesome contract because he's 1,000 years old, but
he's 33 years old. He's not that old. That's old. That's younger than I would expect Radko Gudas to be at this point in his life.
That is fair. I would expect him to be 34 and a half.
I would expect him to be like 36, 35, 36.
So he's all right. He's not 1,000 years old. I'll take it back. He's like 60 years old.
Especially for like that kind of player. That kind of player exists in the NHL until they're like 38 and horrible.
Where it's exactly. It's like, oh no, he's gonna lose a step Oh no, that famous step.
Like Zach Bogosian played for the Atlanta Thrashers.
Yeah.
And is in the league.
And he's still kicking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't, but I wouldn't trade him if I were the Ducks, and it seems
no, like, and their Ducks are not going to trade him. From what I heard from on 32 Thoughts, the Ducks were like, no.
Yeah.
And so why would they trade him? Why would they trade him?
I'd like to talk about some Oilers trade deadline
Before
stuff.
we do that, we should get some likes. Because guess what? It's like spike time. 3, 2, 1. Spike those likes. Bump up those numbers. We're not trading Radko Gudas. We're not moving on from the like spike until we get the likes. So I also love that the chat is big in on the like spikes. Everybody just shows up and they're like, hey, I missed the like spike. So
no,
you haven't.
You didn't.
Unless you're arriving after this, in which, yes, you have.
Like spike, get people to subscribe. Tell them all the nice things that they need to hear. Win them over.
What's a like spike equivalent for subs?
That, brother, is the $1 million question.
A sub smash.
A sub.
I feel like it has to rhyme.
What can we offer people other than good content? Even if we say we'll give you good content if you subscribe, they're like, I don't want good content.
I just think at some point in the future we will give a subscriber, if we run into you in public,
cash.
Like just cold hard cash. Yeah.
The podcast that gives you cash.
That was
just be subscribed because you don't want to miss that opportunity.
That was a huge idea for the brunch podcast, Sean. We were like, we need to
just pay for followers or subscribers, basically.
Like, yeah, it was essentially payola. But we tried to brand ourselves the podcast that gives you cash.
Nice.
Because I don't think that existed.
When we never gave out cash.
The cash cab of podcast.
Yes.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Why you listen to that podcast? Trying to get some cash. It's going to pay off for me eventually. We should keep like ones on us. And if somebody comes up to us and they're like, hey, I'm a whatnot. Thank you.
I like that idea.
I do. That is fun.
That is a good idea to give out like $1. Like for $1.
Let me give you here. I only have a 5. Can you break a 5?
The Billy Eichner energy. For $1. Say that you like my podcast.
How funny would that be if you're with a friend who doesn't understand?
Tomorrow we will both be at the Bruins Oilers game. If you come up to us and say that you are a whatnot, either one of us will give you $1.
Oh, no. It's not you are a whatnot. You have to show us that you are subscribed.
Yes, show us that you're subscribed and we will give you $1.
Oh, yes. That's a great idea. I mean,
and you don't have to be subscribed at the time. You can come up to us and show us that you are literally pressing the subscribe button right in front of us, and I will give you $1.
Sean, was it you that was with me at a game? I can't remember if it was a Celtics game or a Bruins game. In like the Amazon Mart thing or whatever. And a guy came up and did like a vague love your stuff.
That was not me.
And
somebody at a Foundation Brewing in Portland this weekend came up to me and said, hey, love your stuff. Big fan of the podcast.
Okay, so that's
like now I don't know what he's talking about.
Because
I got 2 podcasts and I got a lot of stuff.
Depending on how I'm feeling, I'll be like, what stuff? Like what stuff we talking here? Like who do I got to be right now? Do I gotta be
Brunch Deej? Do I gotta be What Chaos Deej?
What Chaos Deej? Or
so you just be like, am I an oil man or am I a past lives man?
Exactly. But somebody was like, hey, love your stuff, and I was like, you subscribe to What Chaos? And he definitely had no idea, but yeah, he was like, love it, and I was like, are you subscribed on YouTube as well? You're probably, statistically speaking, you're probably subscribed on podcasts. It'll help us a lot if you're also subscribed on YouTube. And I almost was like, I'll take a minute here to make sure that you're subscribed. But
we have someone in the chat claiming that it was them.
What's that?
Really?
Javan? DJAVAN.
That was me, I think.
At Bruins Kraken game.
I think it was further back. I don't know. It wasn't. I've gone to Sneaky a lot of games.
You have.
And not to brag. There's been a few instances.
I've tried to lie about going to more games than I've been to, but you
almost got away with it. I went full the practice.
Yeah,
and I did a whole case.
Yeah. And you were ready to bring it into the next day's episode, and I was like, all right, you win.
Yeah,
I wasn't
you pled
at that
out.
game.
Yeah, you pled out.
Yeah.
Oilers stuff. Ken Holland says the team is not going to make a move for a goalie. And I'll tell you what, smart move. They're going to ride with Skinner and Pickard. Good move. Pickard almost had a shutout last night. Stinks he ended up losing it, but still winning in convincing fashion. Stu Skinner, good again. Last 3 games, all wins. 9.49 save percentage. Previous 6, he had an 8.58 save percentage. We talked about how much he and the team defensively were struggling. But even during that skid, we said there's moments where you're like, thank God they have a good goalie back there because it could have been a lot worse. Skinner playing well again. Oilers playing well again. Not going after a goalie. Smart move? Right move?
I go back and forth on it. Whether or not I'm surprised. Like, I do think that the Oilers could use a backup, a steadier backup who has a bit more of a proven track record than Calvin Pickard. But the Oilers, for a team that we both agree is awesome, like the Oilers have question marks and things that they need to address both up front and on the back end. It's just a question of like what you prioritize. I don't think that they have a ton in terms of like assets and things that you can send out the door, and they don't have a ton of flexibility. So they're obviously going to need money in, money out. Like, I don't blame them for being like, all right, let's just take the goaltending off the table and let's focus on the other things.
They do have first round picks in each of the next 3 years. They don't have a 3rd or a 5th this year. They don't have a 2nd next year, but they do have first rounders in the next 3 years. Famously, I am on board with
but again,
trading 2026
money in, money out.
Picks.
Like, they need to make the money work. And that's
which is why I think Warren Fogel's days are numbered, unfortunately.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's also why apparently they lost out on Chris Tanev, was because they said, we'll give you one of these first round picks, but you got to take somebody from our roster. And the Calgary Flames said, no fucking thanks. And, which,
well, now that Cody Cece's scoring, you're definitely not touching that. He scored last night.
He did score last night. I don't know if that means you're not touching that.
It was his first goal in 3 bajillion years.
2nd goal of the season.
Seth Jones looked at that and was like, what?
You're allowed to score more than
We're
one?
scoring. You guys are at the we're the Millers meme.
You guys are getting goals for
You
this?
guys are getting goals. I almost tweeted this the other day. I don't think anybody would get it. But I just, like, me reading all your tweets, and it was going to say, you guys are having bingo cards, because everybody's tweets these days are
not on my bingo card.
This wasn't on my bingo card today. Like, you guys are playing bingo every day. You're playing bingo, and then you go on Twitter and you see some news and say, not how I thought this game of bingo would go for me. This is a surprising game of bingo I'm playing today.
We should, for year 2 of What Chaos, for the season
bingo cards.
Season preview episode, we should make actual NHL season bingo cards, and literally anytime something happens that isn't on our bingo card, we just go, well, this wasn't on my bingo card.
Wasn't on my bingo. I mean, we could do it it could be a way to keep engaged over the weekend on every Thursday episode, or at the end of every Thursday episode.
We make weekend bingo
have
cards?
our bingo cards.
Fuck, that's such a good idea. Let's do that. That's way better.
You see that Bean Blackburn magic that just happened? Sean, did you even hear that? You goofing around with your friends?
Sean's jacking off over there.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Shout out Sidney Sweeney highlights from Saturday Night Live.
SNL, it was a little much, folks. SNL all weekend was like, we got them. I mean, we got her. Yeah.
But I can't really fault SNL, because if you woke up on Sunday morning, literally all you saw on Twitter was Sidney Sweeney's boobs.
Yeah.
Which isn't that different from like the usual Twitter experience. Twitter's so horny now. Like, even if you don't want it to be, the algorithm is so horny.
Crazy.
Like, is it like that?
We discussed how we all got into Paramore because horny Instagram was trying to give us, like, check out Hayley Williams dancing on stage. And then we just became bigger Paramore fans.
I think it's a product of, like, the big accounts that now get paid to engagement bait are like...
That's where the money is.
Yeah, they're like, hey, check this out. Don't check hidden replies. And it's like all these things. And so the algorithm is so fucking horny.
Sean, how do you feel about doing bingo cards every Thursday and then on Monday episodes discussing things that weren't on our bingo cards.
I'm a huge bingo fan. I think I've mentioned before, PHNX Coyotes did Tyson Nash bingo before. Anything that is bingo.
Let's definitely do this because I hate. We negotiated to do only Monday through Thursday, and as much as I love having 3-day weekends every weekend and getting that little like early weekend, I've advocated for 4-day work weeks forever. I'm usually pretty pissed that we're not doing a show on Friday.
Every Thursday night something happens that I'm like, boys, what are we doing? Who negotiated this?
Yeah.
What kind of trash negotiator? What kind of I was gonna say Ken Holland in a goalie market negotiator are we? But I think it's the right move what Ken Holland is doing, saying we'll stick with Stu. If he falls on his face, which I don't think he will, maybe we'll be able to.
If he falls on his face,
teams.
you're probably fucked anyway.
Yeah.
Like nobody that I want them to go out and get as a goaltender is going to really like save them if Stuart Skinner falls on his face. Like Calvin Pickard could have as much of a chance of saving them if Skinner falls on his face as anybody that they get at the deadline. Like I'm not expecting them to go out and get a Markstrom, a Allmark, a like one of the premier goalies. I just wanted them to get somebody who had a little bit more of a resume.
My favorite part of the show so far, it's been a very good show though, is Sean saying in like the most, of course, Sean is saying this way, I love bingo.
Bingo rock.
Like
man.
you have a bingo take.
I've gone to like the VFW, played bingo with old people before. It's a vibe.
Really?
Get the dabbers, yeah.
Sean's so fascinating because like he's a young person who is a young person, but has this dedicated part of his brain and his personality that is just set on being 65 years old.
Yeah.
It's terrific. Right. Like, so like before the show, and I'm not doing this in a derogatory, like he didn't know who knew, he didn't know the New Radicals by name.
Yeah.
That makes sense for his age.
Yeah.
It also somehow makes sense that when we bring up bingo, Sean's like, you know what I love? Bingo, baby.
I'm just me, man.
So you like, we'll do bingo cards.
Yeah.
Thursdays, we'll make bingo cards. And then throughout the weekend, Matt Rempe throwing a hit that gets discussed was not on my bingo card.
Do we get to make our own bingo cards? Because bingo cards are typically handed out and you
That
play
is
the
true.
card.
People say it wasn't on my bingo card. Yeah, you don't
control what's on the bingo card.
You're not predicting what's going to happen in bingo. Someone gives you numbers.
And of course it's not on your bingo card because bingo cards only have numbers on them.
That's true.
This gets back to my original tweet though, or my original tweet idea of like, you guys are playing bingo here. What, like you're bringing a bingo card to Twitter? Of course, this is gonna. Oh, what? Sidney Sweeney doing whatever. That wasn't on my bingo card. Numbers were probably on your bingo.
Bingo is a fucking vibe. It's just a more fun way to gamble.
We'll definitely flesh this out. We've got a big week coming up. It's trade deadline week. So we will be doing the stream maybe on Friday if you get our numbers to 4,000 on the YouTube.
We'll be doing a stream no matter what, but I don't want that to make people back off in subscribing. So
you're either getting like a 4-hour stream or a 24-hour stream.
Dare we say how long it will be if we... How about if you don't get us to 4,000, the stream is 1 minute long.
Just right at like 3:59.
And we're going to have a horrible attitude.
Trade deadline day. We will just recap the entire day in 1 minute. That would be a good stream, though.
Something that I was considering. Do we, if we don't get 4,000 by Thursday, do we do a 24-hour trade deadline stream whenever we do get 4,000?
It's June 3rd. It's it's the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it's just like,
fuck.
Noah Hanifin. He got
to bang out a 24-hour trade deadline stream. Do you think we do it? Then?
That would be a good idea. I don't know how. It would be a wild stream.
What happens if it does actually happen like during the playoffs?
Yeah,
it's just like last. Like, I don't know. The Panthers just got swept by the Sabres.
I hope you don't care about any of the day's action because you could have got us to 4,000 way before that. If
we get to 10,000 during the playoffs, then we do a 24-hour trade deadline stream.
I mean, it also could just be like a 24-hour stream.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I think it's imperative to the integrity
It's about the trade
of
deadline.
the idea that it's a trade deadline stream.
Any other notes from the I guess one thing that we should probably bring up is that the Bruins and Jeremy Swayman are working on a contract extension.
So that's why I was over here scrolling Twitter, because I'm waiting for news to break that either Swayman has signed an extension or Jason Kelce is retired.
So
I thought Jason Kelce retired.
Rajon Rondo voice thought he'd been retired.
I thought he retired like right after the season.
Nope, never announced anything. But he's obviously about to retire because he's not holding a press conference.
I could have sworn he was like, I'm done. I could have
every year for the last like 3 years, he's been like, we'll see, more or less.
I could have sworn I saw that he had retired, but apparently if people are monitoring it, maybe I made it up. But he was like wearing Chiefs gear at the...
Yeah, well, because his brother plays. He's always done that.
I know. I guess Brady Tkachuk did that when Matthew was in the playoffs.
That's why Kylie Kelce is the dopest person of all time, because she refuses to wear Chiefs gear.
Who does?
Kylie Kelce. Jason Kelce's wife, she refuses to wear Chiefs gear. She will only wear Eagles gear or other stuff. And he's like, my brother plays. And she's like, I don't care. She was at the Super Bowl in Cincinnati gear, I believe.
I do think it's. I felt this way with the Tkachuks too. Like I feel it's weird to when you're on a different team to wear the gear of another team.
That's why I'm like such a college hockey jersey fan and stuff like that. Like if you're Brady at Matthew's game, like just wear his junior or his college jersey. Like don't wear.
And you can wear like player specific gear without it being necessarily. Like I think one of the times Brady Tkachuk wore like a Matthew Tkachuk shirt that was not Calgary Flames explicit,
but like the Bedard shirt.
And it was such a weird situation because I didn't want to poo-poo on Brady for like supporting his brother. Like I understand the intent behind it. It's just like visually weird to me.
If I was like Brady, for example, I would just be a troll and I'd be like at the Panthers game wearing a Matthew Tkachuk Flames jersey type thing. Like I would wear my brother's jersey, but just of a different team. Or just get like a custom.
I'm mad that you don't have your Jeremy Swayman main jersey yet.
Jeremy has.
We'll probably get into it tomorrow, what we're going to wear to the game.
I already know what I'm wearing.
It'll be Mike Felger's dream. People talking about what they're wearing.
Talking about their clothes.
I love what like a clear shot that was at Stephen A. He could only be talking about Stephen A.
Talking about his
clothes. He
said
people, they come into the show and they talk about what they're wearing. Nobody else, no other show has ever started. Maybe some episodes of Brunch, but like no other shows have started with the hosts discussing what they're wearing other than Stephen A. Smith. The Swayman thing is interesting because the Bruins, I think, are on bigger shakeup watch than anybody in the league going into the trade deadline. Because if they did trade Linus Ullmark, that qualifies as a shakeup.
Yeah,
and we've done no shakeup talk this whole year, which is a little crazy to me. But that's just because there hasn't been much shakeup talk throughout the NHL. Penguins should be doing a shakeup. They're not going to do it, seemingly. The Bruins, who are one of the best teams in the league, might be shaking it up at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I don't even know if like the Penguins would consider, like they would just be sellers.
They'd be
yeah, it wouldn't even be shakeup. Like a shakeup has to be a team that is in contention and is just changing their makeup. Yeah, I don't know. I still don't think it happens. I think it's very, very small chance that the Bruins. It's one of those situations similar to like present me an offer that I can't refuse with Linus Ullmark, because I still think at the end of the day, most likely you are a better positioned team to win the cup with Linus Ullmark as your backup or your 1B heading into the playoffs than with any return you're getting for Linus Ullmark.
Yeah. I still haven't thought of like a three-team trade where I'm like, yeah, you probably do that.
I also like at this point, maybe I'm just being like a bit of a downer and the recency bias is getting to me. But like the Bruins, I understand that the East is wide open, but the Bruins really don't seem like a team that's going to be there at the end. They just don't seem like that kind of team. It seems like a team that is going to be exposed over the course of a playoff run, and they're going to hit a wall that they can't get past.
I mean, defensively, they're ass at points. And I'd like...
And the bottom half of their bottom six just goes way too quiet.
There's so many teams that I'm like, just give them one more forward and I feel better about them. The Bruins, I'm like, give them 1.5 more forwards.
If you're going to give the Bruins one more forward, you have to give them a top 6 forward that pushes somebody down.
Adam Henrique. I would love Henrique for the Bruins because he could play center and like he makes the Zacha situation a lot easier.
I agree.
Because Coyle, I think, is pretty solid as a top 6 center for them.
I don't see the Bruins beating the other teams in contention.
The allegations.
The other teams that are in contention for Adam Henrique. Like the Oilers, like the Colorado Avalanche. Those two teams are probably
they have more stuff to trade as well.
Yeah. So I don't see them beating it.
If it makes you feel better though, Bruins, you're probably going to be freaking out for them to make a move this week because their next 3 games, they've lost 3 straight. Or no, I'm sorry. They've got 1 win in their last 4. It was a regulation win.
That's true.
Had me busting out the Tim Heidecker, huh? Because I could not believe that a game ended after 60 minutes.
I busted out the Joe Biden Who's Mad video.
That's
and
right.
A lot of people were like, "Oh, making this political. I knew you were a Biden guy." But and after like the previous game, I threw out 4 million Trump videos.
Yeah,
turn off the lights.
Well, I mean, the Bruins were sliding the note after Saturday.
They cut their penis.
They cut their penis huge time against the Islanders.
Ooh, the team that has a cut penis as well.
Right. Just like the shit kicking of all shit kicking.
The Islanders drinking the soda.
And like the Islanders like weren't awesome in that game either. It wasn't like on Sunday night, Oilers, Penguins were trying their hardest and they just got run over by an awesome Oilers team. Bruins on Saturday, you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, the Islanders?
Mm-hmm.
And the Islanders just ran them out of the building. Bruins next 3 games, by the way. Tonight at Toronto. Tomorrow, home against the Oilers. The old back-to-back against the Leafs and Oilers. Great for a team that's struggling defensively. Back-to-back against the Leafs and the Oilers. And then after that, they play Thursday at home against Toronto. So next 3 games, Leafs, Oilers, Leafs. If the Bruins don't snap out of it, this is going to be a noisy-ass trade deadline for them. I don't necessarily mean from them making noise. I mean from them getting trades. Like draft day, people protesting outside.
Yeah, this could be a real tough week to be a Bruins fan. I just feel like you have to temper your expectations of what they're going to do at this deadline because they don't have things to trade.
Yeah.
And like the moves that they're going to make moves. I feel like that's inevitable. They're going to make moves. They may not move the needle.
Anybody who hasn't liked yet, like.
I was literally just going to say, wouldn't hate a second.
Final call for likes?
Wouldn't hate a second.
Was the initial like spike unsatisfying? Or was it just that we have a lot of people in here?
I think it, yeah, both. The first one was fine, but then we probably gained like 30, 40 more viewers since then.
Well, it is trade deadline week. We would like to acquire some more likes.
How about this?
In exchange for
future
consideration.
I'm going to hold my breath for 30
Players
seconds.
To be named later.
During that time.
DJ's going to hold his breath. You get DJ's oxygen. We get likes.
I can start a stopwatch on here as well.
I actually want to see like how long you can hold your breath.
All right.
Don't say 30 seconds. Hold your breath for as long as you can and see how many likes we get in that time.
This is something that we can also do on the stream. I saw something about, all right, tell me when to go.
We're doing a DJ holds his breath in exchange for a like spike in 3, 2, 1, go. Should I talk during this or should I just let the moment breathe while DJ can't breathe? What do you want to talk about, Sean?
We could talk about the Buffalo Sabres.
Oh, the Buffalo Sabres. This would be so funny if we stole this segment from DJ.
From DJ while he can't breathe.
DJ, the only thing that he tweeted about over the weekend was the William Fichtner going to the Sabres game, and we just cover that entire ground while he can't breathe. That would be incredible.
I'm going to make fun of him while he can't. I'm going to make fun of him while he can't defend himself. Crazy that DJ didn't know that Sabretooth was the Sabres mascot.
That is crazy because I have definitely sent the photo of Sabretooth. If you can please drop that in here.
Of course.
I always send the photo several times of Sabretooth popping a boner at like a high school gymnasium. It is such a funny visual.
I don't have that picture.
It's in the group chat. Well, we can save it for later, but it's a hilarious photo of Sabretooth.
We do have Sabretooth in his
leather jacket. That's such a good look. I may buy a leather vest just to throw on top of my goat head jersey. That's such a good look.
That would be pretty crazy just to have a leather vest just to wear
just for
over
a specific
hockey
outfit.
Jersey.
It's not like I'm going to be popping a leather vest. There's no way that you.
I was going to say we are at like
still
impressive.
Not breathing?
We are at like an pretty. We're a minute and a half, and it's like that's impressive. I don't know how long I can hold my breath, but
I would have definitely breathed by now. Also, yeah, we haven't fucking talked about the Pettersson contract, as pointed out by the chat.
Not getting nearly enough likes from this. I'll just say that.
Oh, really? Maybe they just want to see DJ die.
That's kind of what I said. Like, maybe if DJ just falls out, and the likes will just skyrocket.
I don't believe the integrity of this.
Like, DJ is a better person than that. There's no way he could. I think he respects the game too much. Two minutes and 10 seconds. 2
minutes and I want to say 11 seconds.
Okay. So
thoughts on the Sabres?
I don't know if I believe the integrity.
My thought is that maybe during a fake, during like a trying hard not to laugh, maybe like through my ear or something, I got some air because once I was at like 120, I was like, this should be tougher by now, and I wasn't really in like danger zone until like 140. I think that realistically, by a minute, I should have been kind of freaking out.
You really didn't breathe that entire time?
Not intentional. No, like I really don't think I did.
Interesting.
I must have, but I feel like all of my almost laughing things happened in the first very 20
early.
seconds.
Like even if you did breathe by accident during those, that's still an impressive time.
I feel like holding your breath is like 80% mental.
Yeah,
like I think you could do it a lot longer.
It's like pissing your pants. Pissing your pants is like 80% mental.
I don't know why, but you saying that you have asthma and then you saying it's like pissing your pants at the same time fucked with my head. Really has
asthma,
for some
it's
reason.
the same as pissing your pants.
I mean, I'm pretty well versed in both, so maybe it is the same. Yeah, that 2 minutes. What did I get? Like 2:10?
2:10, 2:11.
Yeah,
2:11. That's a lot. But I saw something. What was I watching where somebody was holding their breath? But somebody said like, easy to hold your breath as long as you take like big, deep, like several deep breaths before. So I was prepping, and then when you said go, I didn't even start thinking about breathing until like 120.
People don't think enough about the exhale when you are trying to hold your breath. Like you need to get all of the air out before you take a nice big breath in.
Did we get any likes off of it?
Like 3.
Okay.
The biggest almost laugh I got was somebody said DJ holds his breath until 4K subs.
That's incredible. What do we want to say? Do we want to say anything about the Pettersson deal?
I mean, just that it happened and that it got done quickly. I did see some. I mean, everyone had the same thought immediately, which is, so this is 8 times 11.6. And my thought immediately was, isn't this kind of like what the Nylander contract is? And if so, wow, what a better deal than the Nylander deal. It's $100,000 a year more than the Nylander deal.
Did they price his right him?
Oh, possibly.
Yeah.
$1.
Yeah.
JP Barry looked at that previous contract and was like, I got an idea.
I mean, that is
$1
absolutely
more.
what happened. I saw like in the lead up, they were like, he wants to make sure that his deal is more than Nylander's. And then they just like added $1 and he was like, okay, I'll sign.
Yeah, maybe. I'll just say it's such a better contract.
It is.
Because it's a center.
And I didn't dislike the Nylander deal. I just think that like Nylander got as much as he possibly could have. And Pettersson is on a good deal now. Like, I wouldn't ever say that the Nylander deal is a good deal, but it's fine.
The Nylander deal is what makes the Pastrnak deal a good deal. Pastrnak is $11.25 million.
Essentially us just saying that the Nylander deal is bad because we're just comparing it to other deals and saying it makes that deal look good.
Well, I mean, previously, that was the big guy re-upping with his team, winger. Do you want to pay that much money to a wing? Pastrnak, I was always kind of okay with, just because the Bruins model was about to become, we don't have centers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love $11.5 million for Nylander, but if he's going to stay what he's been, then sure.
Right.
Giving that same money, though, to a number one center.
Right. And a guy who, like, he's a really good two-way center. And, like, he's not just one end of the ice. So the takeaway from the Nylander deal when it happened was, like, it's just another case of the Maple Leafs being taken for every possible dollar by a player on their own team. I don't feel that way with Pettersson. I think this is a really good deal for Pettersson. I'm happy that he is staying in Vancouver, and I'm not shocked. I'm pretty surprised that it came together as quickly as it seemed to. I'm a little bit disappointed as a Bruins fan because I was kind of holding that hope that, like,
he was the apple of a lot of Bruins fans' eye. Shout out James Stewart has been on the Get Me Pettersson.
Just give me a center,
years.
man. Just give me a center to build around.
I'll tell you what, man. Like, much love and much respect to Charlie Coyle. We all were unfamiliar with his game for years.
Well, I mean, I also think that I don't know if that's true. Like, Charlie Coyle was hailed as a very good player who was extremely inconsistent during his time
first
in
round
Minnesota.
pick, tall.
Yeah, and I think Charlie Coyle has shown his importance to the Bruins this year, both positively and negatively. When he went quiet, the Bruins started to stink.
I didn't get to participate in the Sabres conversation that was just had. Let's do some 3 stars. And Sean, do you know how close the Sabres were to being back this weekend?
I was very...
They bring out Bill Fichtner, and he's banging the drum. Oh, look at him, and look at the beard. He went as a goat head.
Oh, my God.
Love him. Do you know Bill Fichtner, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I know.
Do you know him as like Sabres
what do you know
fan
him as?
or as an actor?
I couldn't tell you exactly what he's in, but like you show me his face, I'm like, that's an actor. I know
he is
a
Hall of Fame character actor.
Yes. Oh, the best.
I'm trying to think. Like, I definitely have watched things that he's in. I just can't think of what it would be.
If there's people deciding stuff in a room, I want Bill Fichtner in that room.
I mean, we should get him on the podcast. He should be in this room.
I made a list of people to whom we would reach out. I hate
Kick
that.
the tires
I hate
on?
when no matter how you say it, you'd end the sentence with a preposition. But anyway,
We should kick the tires on.
contact for Friday to have on during a potential 24-hour stream.
Mm-hmm.
William Fichtner tapping in would be amazing.
Amazing.
Granted, he'd be good for a normal episode anyway, but it would be awesome if we had all these moving parts and we were like, all right, William Fichtner's here. But they have him. He beats the drum, and then the Sabres beat the piss out of the Golden Knights. They had a back-to-back, played against Winnipeg last night, take an early lead. I was like, oh my God, Pete was right. How did we ever doubt him? Sabres are making the playoffs, and then they got their asses kicked.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't think this is the year for the Sabres.
Yeah.
What's your level of concern, Sean, that they're going to trade Casey Middlestat this week?
It's like decently high.
I feel like Sean is so beaten down by the Sabres that he's just like,
why do you feel that? Why could you possibly feel that?
And anytime I ask Sean a Sabres question, he's just like, the answer always begins with you're making me disgusted.
He does those when we're talking about the Sabres and when we're not talking about the Sabres. We had him add in something from an old ass Super Bowl that involved the Bills, and as he was cutting it, he was just like, "Oh, the Bills make me so sad." Shout out Mike Evans, by the way. Sorry, Sean.
Whoa. Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, you said Mike Evans, and for some reason I thought Lee Evans, and I was just like, "That's a crazy Bills
Lee
reference you
Evans?
just made."
I love Lee Evans.
What's Peerless Price?
Peerless Price.
Peerless
Yeah.
Price.
Bills have some
so
legends.
Hey, tell you what, Peerless. The Bills cooked. Traded him for a first-round pick. That was good business.
Yeah.
That was like the class. That was the Peerless Price was the Falcons.
Oh,
they were like, all right, he's going to go be Vic's number one. Peerless Price is why teams are probably afraid to trade a first-round pick for T. Higgins.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, when a guy is a number two and looks so much like a number one, Is it because of he's getting different attention and different coverages and stuff? Man.
Peerless Price, is he the Jake Gensel of the NFL?
Right. No, like great call. Or if, I don't know, I'm sure there's some dumb people out there that are like, Leon Draisaitl couldn't be a real number one on a team because he's just...
Well, anybody who says that is a moron.
Leon Draisaitl's so good.
He's so good. Stacey Faye in the chat says you're allowed to end a sentence with a preposition now, and that has been confirmed by the dictionary people.
The dictionary people said it's true. Okay, I'm not... Can I get some Associated Press, please, on that?
Like, so this...
AP style.
I mean, we're already over time, but like, whatever, fuck it. Let's get into some of this talk. Like, who... Just do whatever you want. Do whatever feels right. Because if the dictionary people just get to say, if the dictionary people just get to determine,
Sean, can you give me a hand pushing this man's chair out of the shot?
Do whatever you want. Because if the dictionary people one day wake up and decide, this is okay.
I like the one shot on me while Pete is talking. Like that's such a good sign of disrespect. People would think that we're doing a bad job. It's like, oh no.
No, we live in a society. We need rules. Like, there needs to be rules. People don't get to, because then you end up with the why use many word when few word do trick.
I agree that there need to be rules, but if people just get to decide the rules.
That's what rules are. That'd be like, I agree there needs to be laws, but if Congress just starts making laws, that's what they're there for.
Oh, so stuff's just gonna, so I need money to buy this car? We just made money up.
There needs to be an authority somewhere.
Yeah. Vote, Pete. That's what it seems like you need to do.
Yeah,
you need to vote.
Contact your representative about grammar.
I don't believe it. I believe in rules while also not believing in rules.
No, I
don't believe in the rules determining like whether or not you can do something.
I don't want to speak for you, but I know you well enough to know, like, I don't think you totally either understand the consequences of what you're saying, because you know how to do stuff. And I think we take pride in like when it comes to like editing video, we're a little from the school of hard knocks where we just kind of taught ourselves and all that stuff. But knowing how to piece together a sentence is important.
Correct.
It lets us know if you're putting it. I take it as like, does this person care about their craft? Are they putting work into what they're doing? Are they putting the blood, sweat, and tears into it?
But I think like there's a difference between following the rules that are obvious and following the rules that like most people who aren't scholastic won't even notice. Like if you end a sentence with a preposition, I bet most people aren't going to notice or care. And the people that will notice, like the dictionary just said, they don't matter.
So how do you feel if I were to say like me and Pete went and did something?
Don't care. Yeah, that's fine. It sounds natural.
I'm out.
A tough one is when in the me and Pete and I thing can be tough to do on the fly. It's kind of tough when someone always does Pete and I, thinking it makes them sound smart.
I don't think it's not about sounding smart. It's just about what's right. Like so you being an AP style guy, how do you feel about the Oxford comma?
I don't do it.
I like the Oxford comma.
I don't do it either. And I don't do it because AP told me not to.
Yeah.
That's
I follow. If somebody asks, what's your favorite
told you
book?
To jump off a bridge, would you do it?
If AP told me that that's the right way to like live life.
Sounds like a guy who went to Syracuse.
If it was to me,
that's actually more ASU than anything.
If it was updated, yeah.
The updated style guy said
updated AP style guy.
You can use prepositions and go jump off a bridge.
2024, Pete, jump off a bridge.
The AP style guy told DJ to cut his penis, and that's why he did it.
Yeah, like I don't know what year it was, whatever. That was current. It was like, don't use Manscaped. Use a trash, whatever, like the yellow razor from CVS, but it's CVS brand. It's not even, no, it's not even
one-blade razor.
But it's the one that's made by CVS.
Why do they even make one-blade razors? Those are like a danger to society.
You know what I've been doing? Y'all saw me at TSA.
Yeah.
I got my straight razor holder thing taken away. So now I've been taking individual blades and raw dog in my face when I touch up my beard.
That is psychotic.
They literally added shower orange to the dictionary. This change feels pretty reasonable. What is shower orange?
I don't even.
Is that like a meme?
Okay, I don't love the dictionary. That I'll give you.
The dictionary.
I don't trust the dictionary. If they say the dictionary,
There's too many of them.
The dictionary says it's okay to say chomping at the bit. That means that you're
just wrong. Like you're just
you're saying it wrong.
That you're
know,
giving
Sean,
into the woke
champing
mob.
at the bit.
I did not know that.
So there's a lot of things that have been said incorrectly for long enough that they're accepted. And generally, if somebody says chomping at the bit, I don't think they're the stupidest person in the world. I just think that they probably don't know all the information, which is that it's champing at the bit, which is some horse racing term.
But I mean, I feel like chomping is also kind of right. Like even if, but I mean, not even just sounds right. Like chomping is the action of biting on something. The bit is the thing that goes on the horse's mouth, isn't it? So they are chomping at the bit.
Okay, so same concept as shower beer as a shower orange.
Who's eating orange? Is it not?
That's disgusting.
You should be put in prison.
I've seen a lot of.
Tell you what,
I've seen a lot of concerning memes
behavior
and trends.
I'll tell you what, Siv, earlier.
Stop interrupting me.
Yeah,
I'm in the middle of making a point.
Go ahead.
There is a concerning trend of things happening on Twitter that just show up in my algorithm in my feed. One of them has been like food in the shower, like actual sandwiches.
Crazy.
And I know people are doing it as like a meme or whatever. Still disgusting.
It started
Still
somewhere.
hate that. And then another one that's popped up recently, and I really hate this one, and I know you're gonna fucking hate this. It's people pissing in public bathrooms
in a
and
sink?
intentionally missing.
Yeah, no, that's
the
just
toilet.
dirtbag behavior.
They're like pissing on like the walls or
Yeah.
like pissing into like the stanchion in between urinals and being like blocked by LeBron.
So I've liked the blocked by James. I'll take that any place I can get it.
Somebody
I don't
is
like the
actually pissing.
Yeah, I don't like the pissing on.
I hate
things
I mean,
that shouldn't
we
get
had this
pissed.
conversation
Making
the other day.
somebody's life more difficult so that
Yes.
you can get some fucking likes on
Agreed,
Twitter
100%.
for a horrible thing is awful.
I mean,
don't do that.
We had this conversation. I am
Somebody's
a firm
cleaning up that
believer.
piss.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that more people just need to get their ass kicked.
Yes.
Like there needs to be more
Violence.
serious consequences. Like not serious. Like going to jail, getting a ticket. Fuck it. Like somebody that in some situations there just needs to be somebody that comes out and beats your ass because
Matt
you're being an
Rempe.
asshole.
Yeah,
Yes.
Let's get the guy some work.
I think pretty sure Rempe is how that conversation.
I will
ended
give
up.
you one Matt Rempe thought, which is I'm starting to see there's like the take a break Justin thing that's going on with him, where his fans are like, don't fight so much. Don't fight. We love you. Don't fight. All right, well, then he's not going to play.
Yeah, you only loved him because he fought.
So here's the thing.
That's why you've heard of him.
Here's my idea for Matt Rempe is that this whole thing is going to end at some point, and it's going to result with him like going back to the AHL or whatever it is. I think he should retire from hockey and he should become like Terry Tate, office linebacker, and he should star in hockey commercials in which he just beats the shit out of people.
Honestly, if
He'd make more money.
if he retired right now, like it's that sell high. Like
Yeah, right.
your
Just
stock's through the
Costanza,
roof.
it'd be like, I'm out.
My friend asked me the other day, he was in New York and he was like, oh, maybe I'll, the Rangers are in town. And he was like, is there a reason why the get-in price for the Rangers game against the Maple Leafs tonight is $230? And I was like, yeah, you're not going to like it. And one of my friends in the group text was like, oh, it's got to be that tall guy. And I was like, it's the fucking tall guy. I think he's going to fight another person. So they're spending $230 to get into Madison Square Garden.
He is making waves. Like
It's insanity.
I mean,
it's hockey insanity.
Nobody loves jumping on a like mediocre player train. Like,
New York
like
City,
the New
baby.
York City fan base.
I mean, when it comes to Matt Rempe, like libertarian Sean, I'm just like, people just need to shut the fuck up and let him play. Like, just if he wants to go out there and fight and end his career short, like he's a grown man. Kind of, not really, actually. He's
Worst
not.
thing that could have happened was there was Matt Rempe hit chat over the weekend, and that made me so out.
I mean, that was a bad hit. Anybody like
It was a penalty. It wasn't
like suspendable or whatever.
agree.
It was
a
just
penalty.
It was just a bad hit.
Charging.
Like, charging, left his feet.
Yeah.
Charging for like several different reasons.
I thought Reeves looked really stupid flexing to the crowd.
So that's Ryan Reeves, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Ryan Reeves is like the king of doing too much.
Who do you think?
And like I like Ryan Reeves,
Yeah.
but like
You just beat up a 21-year-old and now you're flexing at the crowd. Like, cool, dude.
and he always has something to say that makes him look worse.
Yeah. I have to say this to Siv, who's been helping out with a lot of the grammar stuff. I noticed earlier in the show you wrote my name D lowercase j. I appreciate that you give care to all of these things. I'm a D uppercase J guy.
I mean, while we're doing this,
you out.
I tend not to correct the
since
chat.
I know you care about it.
My name,
uppercase J.
My name is spelled SHAWN. There's not EAN. There is not a U in my name. It is SHAWN.
Who do you think is the best at flexing in sports after doing something cool? Because there is a current number one.
Caitlin
Clark. Oh my God. No one does this better than Caitlin Clark.
Patrick Mahomes does that a lot too.
No, but she's
it's a tough look to flex as a quarterback in the NFL
because you're
not jacked and you're wearing pads, and so your arms look small.
And they're not allowed to hit you.
Right, that's true.
It's like
unless you do it after a big run.
Huge bitch shit.
Like Josh Allen gets the flex.
Yeah,
like he does that front flex thing a lot, and that's usually because he's just hurdled over another girl.
Yeah, like he is actually running through people and gets to flex.
Okay, flex power rankings. Is there somebody that flexes well in the NHL right now?
I think any fighter who kicks the shit out of somebody and then flexes, it's cool. I think it's a cool move, but like
the thing about the NHL,
for 45 seconds like this.
The thing about the NHL though is that you were wearing loose-fitting long sleeves, so you flex, but it doesn't look any different. Like, it's literally just you doing
the gesture.
Yeah, you know? But flexing looks a lot cooler when it's. Oh man, that's crazy.
Someone called you Schwan.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Chat's just evolved.
I was looking at Kelly saying Sean with an L instead of a W. That's just crazy.
An L is an amazing name.
Says Kelly, who actually has an L in their name.
I do like the longer we go over time on an episode, the chat's like, well, I guess we're allowed to do whatever we want here.
Oh, we're getting a Peyton Krebs shout out.
Yeah, so I don't know. So.
All right. Well, that'll be. Last thing. Edmonton Oil Kings.
Yes.
They did the tweet. They had to delete it, but they had Ghostbusters night and won and wrote,
Cowards.
Busting makes us feel good.
Cowards.
They had to delete it, but here's the thing. They didn't have to delete it.
You didn't have to. Like, deleting it is so much worse. You knew exactly. There are some tweets where you send it, and everybody knows exactly what you're doing the second that you send it. And when you hit delete, it is just the coward's way out.
Why did they do
but
this?
what? Like, there's nothing offensive about this.
No.
It's a
why
lyric.
did they tweet it though? Like, what did they bust?
They had Ghostbusters night, Pete said. Right?
Oh, okay. Was it?
Is that what you said? Or is
I didn't say that.
Because like I was just like, there's no real reason unless you are just making a cum joke, like to tweet busting this.
I mean, I like the idea of like
it had to be Ghostbusters night because they have the two emojis after busting makes us feel good is the circle with the line through it and the
it's definitely a Ghostbusters reference,
which is exactly the Ghostbusters thing,
right?
But also this graphic has arrows that mean nothing, so they could just be doing.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know. It looks like a trade graphic. We talked about this the other day. I don't really like publicly trashing on graphics, but I just don't understand.
I don't understand it at all. That's a bad graphic.
You boys know that I've been very. I've been paying great attention to teams' like end of period score tweets and end of game tweets because teams have to send them out because they're sponsored. The Vegas Golden Knights had possibly my favorite end of game tweet ever the other night. It was after they lost to the Sabres. I forget the exact phrasing, but I'm pretty sure it was the game ended, period.
Nice.
Didn't say what the score was. They were just like, fuck this. It's over. Love that.
No, we definitely don't frown upon cum jokes. It's deleting the cum joke after you make it.
Well, yeah, if you're gonna make a cum joke, make it with your chest.
I'll tell you what,
Say
it's got to be a good cum joke for me to laugh at it.
So, would you say that was a bad cum joke?
No, busting makes me feel good is always going to be accepted.
It's always going to play
because it's more of a reference to a fun song than it is to straight coming.
Correct. And we had that idea for a tweet. Who was it? The team that just kept ruining everybody's streak.
Golden Knights.
The Golden Knights. They
Busters.
should have tweeted "Busting makes us feel good."
Vegas's Twitter during the Sabres game, it was a series of say it ain't Okposo 4-2 Sabres, 5-2, 6-2 with like an emoji, and then just there was punching is its own tweet. All lowercase, no context. And then the game ended.
The game ended is shout out Golden Knights.
The Vegas Golden Knights, like Twitter has had a bit of a redemption arc.
I mean, they're It could be argued there was nowhere to go but up.
That's very true.
It went up.
It
went
go
up.
Yeah.
The Vegas Golden Knights also from that game have a tweet with a highlight that's just bingo is the caption, all caps.
That wasn't on my card. Tell you what.
Bingo wasn't on my bingo card.
All right. Well, get your friends to subscribe to Chaos on YouTube. If you thought that this 90-minute episode was good, imagine a 24-hour, 24 times 60-minute episode.
The grab ass potential is unlimited.
How's the math gonna math there?
Don't Jason Kelce retired. Just wanted to throw that out there. He
Wow.
did it. He gave the speech in a cut-off T-shirt too, which is awesome.
Wow.
All things that were not expected at all.
Love it. All right. Bye, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.